Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to conduct some sensitivity analysis, and we are going to use Excel's data table function to do that. To the right-hand side of this sheet, I've created a data table for you. What the data table has is a row and a column heading. The data table has an X and a Y axes, so two variables, an X and a Y variable. And what the data table does is it will show you how sensitive a key metric is to changes in each one of those variables and the combination of changes for each of those variables. So if I am particularly concerned about net, how much money commerce would be making from this service design, right? They spend 58 million in order to, they spend 58 million and they're funding it through a interest rate change of, 200 to the tune of $275 million, right? If the difference, let me do it, equals negative this minus that. Okay, so kind of the difference between the two. Make that yellow with red text and a big old thick box around it. Okay, so net of service design. This number is very contingent upon how many extra employees I put into each branch and then how many extra hours I'm open for every single day. So I want to see how sensitive this number, right, the net amount of money that I'd be making, how sensitive this number is to changes in the number of additional employees and changes in the number of additional hours. Okay, so in the upper left-hand corner of my data table. So here I've highlighted it in yellow for you. I'm going to reference the indicator, the metric that I want to see sensitivity analysis conducted on. So I want to see it on this number, but this is a very long number. I'm going to divide it by 1,000,000 just so, I don't have to see all those digits. 2, 3, 6 zeros. Okay. And it'll show up inside this upper left-hand side. Okay, on the right of that, right, on the x-axis, on the row, I want to create a range of additional employee hours per branch per day. So 2 employees, and I have to schedule them for full shifts because I'm not a complete asshole. So they're all going to get scheduled for 8 hours of shifts. So let's say 16 hours. I'm going to go from a range of 0 to like in increments of 1. Because maybe my operations guy wants to be an asshole. So maybe I'll do a half shift. I'll start with 4 hours, and I'll go up to 16 hours. Yeah. Oh, and how about this? Equals plus 2. There you go. There we go. Okay, so maybe the additional employee hours that I put in to provide more service to our customers. Maybe instead of 16 hours, I'll only staff 4 more hours. I'm going to be an asshole. I'm going to give them split shifts or something like that. All the way up to maybe I'll give each branch an additional 28 employee hours, worth of labor. To provide better service. So I'm giving a full range, and I still have my 16 hours here, right? But now I want to see what the performance is going to look like, what the financial implication is going to look like with the range of 4 additional hours up to 28 additional hours. Okay. And then on the y-axis, I can add sensitivity on another range of variables. So here we had put in a placeholder of 2.5 additional hours per day. So let's say we only extend hours by half an hour. So half an hour right here. And I'm going to go by 15-minute increments. So that's plus 0.25. Okay. So everything from half an hour longer to 7 hours and 15 minutes longer every single day, which is actually kind of ridiculous, but let's just roll with it. Okay, so now I'm going to populate this entire table with every combination of additional employee hours and additional open hours at each branch. Okay, I'm going to select all the way from the upper left-hand corner to the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to go to data, forecast, what if analysis, data table. Little window is going to pop up. First input, Excel asks, what is the row input cell? So what Excel is asking is going across in the row, going across in this row, right? What input, where should I stick this number, the numbers that are in the rows? So it's essentially asking this row up here, what original cell is this row referencing? What original variable is this row referencing? It is referencing this number here in the original calculation. Okay. Next, it's going to ask, going down this column, what is the original calculation variable that it should be replacing with each one of these numbers in the column? And that's this variable here, the additional hours per day. Remember to reference the cells. I'm going to click OK, and you'll notice Excel completely populates the table with every permutation of additional employee hours per branch and additional open hours per branch. So we'll just double check. Remember that we had 16 hours per branch and 2.5 hours additional per day of open hours. And you notice how it says 116.4 million. That's the same number here. These two numbers are exactly the same. So you can see that this data table is essentially running this whole model for each combination of employee hours, this variable here, and this variable here, these two variables. I'm going to make them in lime green now, those two variables. Okay, so it's every permutation. This way you can show how sensitive your metric of, the funding mechanism for the service design is to two of your most influential variables. Okay, and this is how you run a data table.